Hello everybody, welcome to AhamBrahasmi. Most of us in our lives have started to think because of certain life experiences or are forced to think about certain big questions of life like who am I? Is there any God? If there is a God, is he a good God or a bad God? Or uh, is there any purpose in life? Is there any free will? Is liberation possible? Is knowledge possible? So all these big questions which tend to come across at certain stage in everybody's case, no matter how materialistically driven you are, but at some point, because of certain life events, life forces us to inquire about these questions. My effort with the help of this channel is to share various philosophical views of different types of philosophical schools, whether they are Eastern or Western. Today we are going to start with one major school of Indian philosophy known as Advaita Vedanta, and it is considered as the main philosophy of India. There are technically various 6 schools. We are going to talk about that, but we are going to start from this, and later on we are going to continue our discussion and this journey with the help of other philosophical thoughts as well. So we are going to start with one major school, that is Advaita Vedanta. Now, first, just to give you a brief summary, schools of Indian philosophy are divided into 6 categories. So there are 6 schools of Indian philosophy. First is Nyaya philosophy. It is known as the philosophy of logic. So the founder of this was Maharishi Gautama. Second is Vasaishik philosophy. The founder of this was Maharishi Kanad. Then Sankhya philosophy, it was founded by Rishi Kapila. Then Yoga philosophy, most of the people are quite familiar with the term yoga, but yoga philosophy is not just merely doing yogic practices. It also contains a high intellectual philosophical thought about self-inquiry as well, and it was founded by Maharishi Patanjali. Then Purva Mimamsa, it contains the ritualistic worship or processes or procedures mentioned in the Vedas. The founder was Maharishi Jaimini. And the 6th and our main topic of discussion is Advaita Vedanta. Vedanta also has various subsets, sub-schools, Vishishta Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, Advaita Advaita, many things. We are going to take it later. But our main focus will be towards Advaita Vedanta, which is also known as Uttar Mimamsa. And it was what I'll say compiled by Rishi Badarayan Vyas. Now, the thing here is that Uttar Mimamsa or Vedanta is the text, or I'll say the sutras, which have been mentioned in the Upanishad. Upanishad is literally the Vedanta. So Upanishad are the last ending portions of the Vedas. 4 Vedas are there, and total 108 Upanishads are there. So the sutras, the writings of the Upanishads are known as Vedanta. And Adi Shankaracharya is one of the most important figures of Advaita Vedanta, which is considered as the main philosophy of India. So Adi Shankar, there are many other prominent figures, but Adi Shankar is considered as the foremost because he contributed to the re-establishment of Advaita Vedanta during the phase when Buddhism was at its peak in India. So Adi Shankaracharya is recognized as the foremost figure in Advaita Vedanta. Most of the works, most of the commentaries have upon Vedas, upon Bhagavad Gita, and many other texts, and many other original texts also which have been written by Adi Shankaracharya are considered as the prominent text for Advaita. So this is just a brief introduction. Now we are going to talk Shankar's Advaita Vedanta, means Adi Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta. That is, who am I? Means what does Vedanta states? What is Vedanta? Now, before moving on, I just want to clarify that what Advaita and most of the philosophy, particularly Advaita Vedanta is not just a mere sophisticated theory. Okay, it is not just a simple thought. It is a absolute factual truth. And how it is, we are going to inquire in today also, and in subsequent videos also. But the thing here is that listen carefully. It might seem that okay, it's really how it's possible, but if you speculate, you will come to realization and understanding that what it is saying is the absolute truth. Now, the thing here is that Advaita Vedanta says that the world and all the things, in short, I am just telling, we are going to inquire it in much detail later. So first here is that the world and all the things in it are inherently an illusion or false appearance. It's not saying that it is unreal. It's not. It does not exist at all. It says that it exists, but the point here is that it is a false appearance. It just appears to be real. It's not ultimately real. It is not in the absolute. The word used here is mithya. Mithya means a thing which appears to be real, but technically it is not. If you speculate, it is not. So it's just like a mirage, so which tends to be real from a distance, but when you go close, you see that nothing was there, but it seems really there, real. So that is what it is. So the world and all the things in it are inherently an illusion or false appearance, mithya, and not the absolute reality. Instead, the absolute reality is infinite, non-dual, pure existence, consciousness and bliss, which is known as Brahman. In Vedanta, the term used is Brahman. You can call this God, you can call this any absolute reality which any religion describes, like Allah also, it's the same thing. So God, Brahman, Allah, or any other term, Shiva, Vishnu, Devi, these are mere forms. These are mere names. They are talking about one non-dual absolute reality. You can give whatever name you like it. You can create and conjure up with your own name, but it will still be representing that absolute oneness. And that is the absolute reality which is beyond space, time and causation. And Vedanta claims that you are that. It's like, it's not a reality which exists somewhere out there in some different domain. No, it is you. And the problem is you have forgotten because of ignorance that you are this. Okay, so our true nature is not of the body and mind, no matter how much we associate with our body and mind, but our absolute nature is of Atma, Chaitanya, Brahman, that absolute pure existence, consciousness and bliss. That is what we are, not the body and mind. This is in short what Vedanta states. So as I mentioned, it's not just a sophisticated theory, it is a sheer absolute factual truth. Brahma satyam jagat mithya jivo brahmaiva napara anen vedyam sachastramiti vedanta dindima. In short, Brahman is the absolute reality. It is the absolute truth. The world which you see is apparent reality. It's a false appearance, mithya, and you are Brahman. There is no difference between you and the God. That absolute oneness, that is you. And take it as the Shastra, means take it as the foremost Shastra which Vedanta proclaims. So that is the meaning of the second line. Now, in short, what to understand, who am I? I am pure consciousness, Brahman, Atma or the God. And it is Advaita, non-dual, one without the other. And it is infinite. What we are not, I am not limited body mind. I am not dual. Dual means separate from Brahman. It appears that you are finite, but you are infinite. So point here is that what am I and what I am not. I have just mentioned here that we think that we are limited finite human beings or any living being. And we think that we are separate from the ultimate reality known as God. But technically we aren't. We are the same in absolute terms. If you talk about the relative reality, like the material world, it is a relative reality. It is not the ultimate one. It tends to be real, but technically it isn't. So understand this as the foundational truth, what Vedanta states. Next thing here is that what's the reason behind all this problem? It is ignorance. Because of ignorance or agyan or avidya, we tend to develop false identification with the body, mind and the world. Okay, we think that this is who we are. I am the body, I am the mind, I am the ego, I am this, what I am appearing to be. This is who I am in absolute terms. I am, and see, remember, I am making a clarification. Vedanta does not discard your existence as body and mind. No, it does not discard your existence. It states that it is not ultimately real. These are two different statements. It is agreeing that yes, the existence which is here, it is there. It's not like that all this is just a figment of your imagination or a hallucination. No, it is there, but it is not ultimately real. If you speculate and analyze, you will come to a realization of a point that I am not this body and mind, even though I am constantly aware of the body and mind, and so much aware that I think that this is who I am. But technically I am not. So this is what it is trying to make you realize. That is what the point of Advaita is. Now, what will give you, what it will give you ultimately? Getting rid of the suffering. Everybody, one thing we are certain of is that we are suffering somehow in some capacity in our lives. So ignorance leads to false identification with the world and the body and the mind, and that some in any other form it will ultimately culminate in the form of suffering or dukkha. Now, what is the solution? The solution is self-knowledge, vidya. So self-knowledge leads to atma-jnana, self-realization, self-awareness, this, that I am not body and mind, I am pure consciousness, I am Brahman, I am non-dual, I am infinite, I am that, I am not this what I thought I used to be. And what this leads to? It leads to anandam, bliss. And remember, again, our clarification, it's not a state of happiness, it is a state of peace, calmness, completeness, tranquility. That is what it is. We never feel complete in our lives. No matter whatever we get, we never feel complete. So that completeness, no desires at all remain anymore. You are at peace. You are at tranquility, utter tranquility. That is ananda. So, and this is what we call as jivan mukti, or getting to moksha, or getting liberation. This is what it is. So this is Vedanta in short, that what it is saying. Now the second point, as Vedanta said that we are pure consciousness. Before knowing that how we are pure consciousness, first we must understand what is consciousness. So the thing here is that Advaita states that pure consciousness is witness or sakshi. Witness means sakshi. So witness or sakshi of everything which you see. It is ever the subject, never the object. It is the awareness in which all experiences are possible. So consciousness is what? It is awareness. You are aware of the world around you. You are aware of your body, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. Everything which is happening around you and inside you. That is, you are aware of those things. That awareness in which all experiences are possible, it is consciousness. That is what consciousness is. And remember, anything which you are aware of is not consciousness. It is an object only. If I am aware of certain thing, even if, let's suppose, I am really sad sometimes, let's suppose, it does not mean that I am the sadness. No, my sadness is a state of mind. It is an emotion which I am aware of. I am not the sadness, no matter how overwhelming it is. So remember that anything which you are aware of is not consciousness. It is ultimately an object. Consciousness is ever the subject. Now, another point here is that our quest is not for the object. Our quest is for subject. What are we searching? Who am I? That is the question here. So I am searching for me. Who am I? The self, the subject. So our quest is for the subject, the self and the I. Anything which relates to or says that it is an object, we have to discard it. So we are the pure consciousness, or Atma, or Chaitanya, or Brahman, and ultimately, and not the body and mind. Now, another clarification so that you don't get confused. The thing here is that don't think that consciousness is somehow produced by the brain. That is a notion of modern day science. So they think that somehow brain produces consciousness. That is not, first of all, that is not correct. And second, later on we will see that consciousness is the reason behind all existence also. Hence, it cannot be created or produced. It cannot be created or produced. It's simple, because see, consciousness, see, remember that the only evidence of our being alive is that we are conscious or aware and having first person experience due to it. That is the only thing. If I ask you, give me one sheer evidence that you are alive, what can you say to me? The only thing you can say to me is that I am conscious. I am, and that is what makes me alive. And the first person experience what I am having of the world, that is what makes me alive. That is the only evidence of being alive. So the thing here is that, and nobody is able, science has not been able to answer this question, that how we get the first person experience. They have no answer to it. They have mere theories which are also not correct at all. But the thing here is that we are not getting into that. The point I am making is that the first person experience is happening because of the consciousness. We are not having we have different modes of senses, but we are having a first person experience in a meaningful way. It's not like your eyes are seeing some certain object, your ears are listening to certain sound, your body is experiencing certain touch or sensation, and this is all happening in one scene all at a time. But when you see it, and when you are experiencing all this, you are experiencing it not separately. It's not like you are experiencing eyes separately, ears separately, or skin separately. No, it's all combining and forming one particular scene and giving you a meaningful experience behind it. And this is what first person experience is. Who is the one because of all this, the first person experience is possible, and that is consciousness. So Advaita states that all experiences are made by consciousness, known to consciousness, and occur in pure consciousness. Okay? And the thing here is that, as I mentioned, that later we will talk about that how consciousness is the reason behind all existence. It is the existence itself. It is the existence also. Consciousness, we said, it is pure existence, consciousness, bliss. Brahman is pure existence, consciousness, bliss. So we are only discussing the part of consciousness right now. We'll discuss the existence later. But when we'll come to the realization that consciousness is also the existence, the fundamental cause of all existence behind the entire creation, hence it cannot be produced or created. And one simple example is like fire. Take fire. Fire has an intrinsic property of heat. It does not have to borrow heat from certain thing, some other thing. It is the inherent property of heat, of fire. So in the similar fashion, consciousness and existence, they have its intrinsic nature is to create. It cannot be created or produced. It is the reason behind creation of all other things, producing all other things. So that is why, do not confuse with this. That is the reason I just gave you a simple understanding behind this, so that you don't get confused that what is pure consciousness. Okay? Now, I am consciousness, but how? How? So understand two principles. First principle is that anything which we can experience is ultimately false or not real. And this is a very big statement which Advaita says. Because anything which we can experience is an object to us. Science says that anything which you can experience is real, because it is an objective reality. Ultimately, they are also saying it is an objective reality. But what I am saying here is that if you are aware of certain thing and you are experiencing certain thing, then it is an object to you. And our search or quest is for the subject. And who is the subject? I am the subject. So if I am experiencing certain thing, ultimately that is not real or false, or it is separate from me. Hence, I don't have to take into account, because if my search is for the self, I have to get rid of all those things which come in my way. So that is first thing. Anything which we can experience is ultimately false or not real. Next thing, anything in which change is possible is ultimately false or not real. So the thing here is that anything in which change is possible. Why? Because we discussed that the only evidence that we are alive is we are conscious. And what is? We are aware. Conscious means being aware. In pure awareness, change is not possible. Why? Because if change is possible in awareness, who will be aware that some change has happened? There will be somebody who will be aware that some change has happened. It means that change will become an object to the awareness. And if it will become an object to the awareness, it means it is separate. It is not you. Hence, what happens in awareness? Awareness is just is. Awareness is the isness. There is no change possible in it. Because if change is there, as I mentioned, it will become an object to the awareness, and hence, if it is an object, ultimately not real, separate from you, ultimately false. So what happens here is that anything in which change is possible is also not you. And change is with respect to time. Always change is with respect to time. If anything does not change, it means it is getting beyond time. Time is not applicable upon it. And time and space are in continuum with each other. So it gets beyond space also. That is why we say that Atma, the Brahman, it is beginningless. It's no janma, no mrityu. So no creation, no end. So beginningless, endless, because it is beyond the concept of time. Time does not apply to it. And similarly, space, beyond desha, kal, nimitta. So desha is space, kal, time, nimitta means causation, concept of cause and effect. So anything in which change is not possible, it will get away from all these three aspects. And that is why it is being said that Brahman is what? Absolute reality is Brahman, which is infinite, non-dual, and beyond space, time and causation. So anything in which experience is there or change is there, ultimately unreal, separate from you, and that is not you. So apply these two principles upon yourself. So there are four parts to our body. One is our physical body, mind, intellect and ego. Apply these two principles. And on the world also, where we live. So in the world which we live, it is filled with objects. You are experiencing the world constantly. You are aware of the world around you, always. It means it is an object to you. Okay, whatever you are doing, you are aware. If you are aware, it means you are experiencing an object. Hence, the world is the object around you, filled with objects around you. Next thing, it is changing. Does it not change? It changes. The world around you changes. Your life, how you have been led so far, you can see that you have seen lots of changes around you also. So change is possible, hence not real. Now we apply these to our body, physical body. Now physical body, first principle, are you not able to experience your body? The answer is yes. Are you not aware of the body? The answer is yes. You are aware with the help of your senses, 5 senses and motor organs. We are able to experience our body. If I am moving my hand, if I am closing my eyes, if I am seeing certain thing, if I am doing any work, am I not experiencing my body? Who is aware? If I am moving my hand, who is aware that I am moving this hand? If I am seeing this hand, who is aware that, okay, this is my hand and I am seeing this hand? So it means that hand, which is a part of the body, it is an object to you. It is not you. Can you say that I am my hand? No. But it is the part of your body. It's not you. So the thing here is that body is ultimately an object to you, hence not real. It's not you. The thing here is that, second point, it changes also. It changes. Does it not change? It changes. You were born as an infant, then you became, then you grow up, you become a teenager, then you become adult, and then a middle-aged person, and then old age, and then death. This is the cycle of life for everybody. So body changes. It grows up and decays and dies. So it is changing and we are experiencing. We are not our body. No doubt we feel that this is who we are. That is what Maya is. That is what it seems that, okay, this is real. But technically it isn't. Okay. So that is first thing. Next, apply this on your mind. The mind, remember in philosophy, mind is different how it is discussed in science. So in science, mind and intellect are not considered different. They use interchangeably. So in philosophy, mind is just the faculty which contains emotions, feelings and desires. Intellect is the faculty which is responsible for logic, reason, cognition, analysis, rationality, all those things. So mind does not control logic and all those things in philosophy. So here, mind is what? Your faculty which controls emotions, feelings, desires. Now, do you not experience your mind? Yes, because you are aware of your thoughts, aware of your feelings, aware of your desires all the time. If I am happy or sad, I am aware that, okay, I am happy at this moment, I am sad at this moment. I am not that state of happiness or sadness. I am not that, even though it might be really overwhelming sensation or feeling, but still I am different from it. And that is what makes mind ultimately not real, because it is an instrument or a medium acting inside your body, but ultimately it's not you, because you are aware of it and constantly experiencing it. Next thing, does it not change? It changes. Your thoughts changes, emotions changes, feeling changes, desire changes all the time. Hence mind is not real. Then intellect. Intellect contains logic, reason, calculation, analysis, memory, cognition, physiological processes which are not under our control, like digestion, heartbeat, temperature, involuntary actions of the body. They are under the control of intellect. Now, are you not aware of it? The answer is yes. For example, we said that learning or cognition, learning is a part of intellect. So who is the person who knows that I know these things? Who knows that, okay, this is what I have learned, this is what I have studied, this is what I know? Who is the one who knows those things? So it means that you are aware of the intellect. Then memories, like memories are also the part of intellect. Are you not aware of your own memories? Who is the one who remembers that certain event happened in my life and it was a good memory or a bad memory? So intelligence is also the part of intellect. So who knows that, okay, I am really sharp and I understand things really quickly, and who knows that, okay, I am not able to understand things easily, it takes time for me. So who is the one who is aware of these things? You, the one who is aware, that is ultimately real, because ultimately intellect is also an object, you are experiencing it. Next thing here is that, does it not change? It changes, because whatever you learned, whatever you studied, let's suppose, because it is the part of intellect, do you not forget it, or does it stay the same always? So if I studied certain thing, I learned certain thing, I also forget it over a period of time. It is not the same. It changes. Memories, they fade off with time. They change with time. We don't know, but sometimes our memories also change. So that also happens. Next thing, physiological processes, the metabolism, the temperature, the heartbeat, the digestion process, with respect to time as the body ages, they also tend to go slow, or because of disease, they tend to create problems and become weak. So intellect is also susceptible to change. If it is susceptible to change and you are aware of it, you are experiencing it, it is not ultimately real, it is separate from you. Next thing here is that ego. Now ego is really powerful. Ego is all the things which we think we are but we are not. Like your name, your gender, the fact that you are a human, your nationality, your religion, your culture, your traditions, your ideology, belief systems, your education, your career, your family, everything which you think that this is what makes me me, that is what ego is. If I take all these identities, false superimposed identities which have been given to you after your birth, I take all of them and I ask you, who are you? What will you answer? So the thing here is that ego. Now apply these two principles. First thing, are you not experiencing this? Are you not aware of your all these identities? The answer is yes. The thing here is that we are constantly 24/7 aware, and we are so aware that we think we are the ego. That is the problem. We are so aware that my name is Abhijeet and I know that I am this, because I am 24/7 aware that this is what my name is. Since birth I have been called by this name. So the thing here is that I am a Hindu, I am an Indian, I am a doctor or an engineer, I am born into a certain family, I am a person with these ideals or morals or thoughts or belief systems. These are the things which make a person and give them false identities. But still, if you speculate, they are not you, because you are 24/7 aware of them. And as I mentioned, the fact that you are so aware that you think that you are that. You are so aware of all these things that you think that you are them. But since you are aware of them, who is the one who is aware that my name is this? Who is the one who is aware that, okay, I am a human, I am a male or a female, I am born in this particular country or religion or a family? Who is the one who is aware of that? That is who you are. You are not the one who is having these superimposed identities. They are important for living in the material world, but ultimately they are not your absolute reality. That is what Vedanta is trying to point out. Next point out, do they not change? The answer is yes. First thing, if you believe in the part of reincarnation, the thing here is that many lives, you had a different identity in the past life, which has ended now and you don't remember it. The current life which you are living, this will also end one day, and in the next life, you won't remember the current one. So the thing here is that ego is also changing from one life to another. But let's suppose you don't believe in past lives. What happens here is that one thing which is certain is your death. Death is certain. You can't say that, okay, I don't believe in death. That is the absolute sheer truth. The rest, all the things, they can be mere fallacies. But this is 100% certain truth. Inevitable. So, upon death, the ego will be destroyed. If it will be destroyed, it means it is within the bounds of time. Anything in which change, what is change? Change is momentary death of any particular thing. So the thing here is that ego also destroys at one point upon death. All the identities, all the things which you thought you were, they cease to exist upon death. It means that ultimately you are not them. You are not them. Because it is within the bounds of time. And as I mentioned, consciousness or awareness is beyond time. It is not within the bounds of time. It is beginningless and endless. So the thing here is that if you apply these two principles upon all these aspects of our existence, you will come across a realization that I am none of them. Even though they are the part of me, Vedanta is not denying the fact that body, mind, intellect and ego don't exist. They exist. The fact that it is simply stating that it is not you. The problem is you think that you are them. So you need to enter into a state of distinction and realization of, or a constant realization that I am body, mind, intellect and ego on a relative scale till I am existing in the world. But even though while I am existing in the world, still I am consciousness, because without consciousness none of them will exist at all. So pure consciousness or Brahman is the witness of your ego, because if you go beyond ego, what will come? Blankness. So pure consciousness is not blankness. It's not because if blankness is also there, who is experiencing the blankness? Consciousness. So blankness is also a state of experience. The thing here is that it cannot be described by language. Brahman or consciousness cannot be described by language. This is the reason, because at one point language cannot describe it. There will be no word, and if you tend to describe it also, it's like you can describe an object. That is the problem. We are not going to the detailed discussion of all these things, but I am just mentioning a simple fact that if you are tending to describe, Brahman is attributeless. You cannot describe certain thing which is attributeless. There is no attribute in it. It just is. It just is. That is the only thing which we can say about it. It just is. The best thing is be silent and experience and realize that it is you. So the thing here is that pure consciousness is the Brahman or Brahman is the witness of ego, intellect, mind, body and the world. It manifests itself through them, without which nothing will exist. As I mentioned, if you are not conscious, can you experience your ego, intellect, mind, body and the world? The answer is no. And consciousness is not an object to acquire. If you still have a notion in mind that, okay, it is an object, maybe I'll reach it somewhere, you are wrong. It is not an object to reach or acquire. It just is. It is you. You cannot experience Brahman. Otherwise, it will become an object. You are Brahman, witness of all things and absence of all things. This is Atma Jnana. This is what makes you free. This is what gets you rid from the suffering of the world. And suffering does not mean that the world will change for you. No. Suffering means you will stop reacting to the things which the world throws in front of you. That is what is state of Atma bodha is. That is what we call a person Jivan Mukta or Atma Jnani, who does not react to the things which the world throws upon himself or herself. It can be good, it can be bad. That is moksha, that is liberation, that is Jivan Mukti. Now, this consciousness is the fundamental reality which manifests itself through Maya and in the process reveals itself. Okay, so consciousness is technically revealing itself by manifesting through ego, intellect, mind, body and the world. The problem is it is present 24/7, but still we are not able to see it. It's evident all the time, but still it's hidden from our instinct, our realization. That is the problem. And without this, nothing will exist. It's like, just to give you an example, like electricity flowing through wires. Can you see electricity with the naked eye? No. You can only see the presence of electricity if it passes through certain device. It can be tube light, it can be any other electrical device, it can be AC or anything. When they are functioning, they are moving, and when the tube light is lighting up, then you know that okay, electricity is passing through it. Otherwise, can you see electricity through your naked eye? No. Even if it is going in front of your eyes, still you can't see it. So the thing here is that when the electricity moves through the devices, then it reveals itself that okay, I am there, and you are able to see that okay, you are able to know that okay, electricity is there. In the similar example, consciousness is manifesting itself through all these aspects, but in the process of all this manifestation, it is revealing itself that I am the cause behind all these things. If I am not there, none of them will function. If electricity is not there, what use of the device is? It won't function. So that is to give you just an example. Technically, there is no better example coming up in my mind right now. This is the thing what I'm making you try to understand, that ultimate reality is consciousness. We are consciousness, pure existence, consciousness, bliss, known as Brahman. And this is what Advaita teaches and says. So that is all for today. In subsequent further videos, we are going to discuss many other interesting topics, which definitely will bring you to a state of deep question and later on clarity and knowledge, self-knowledge, and it changes your perception towards yourself as well as the world. So later on we are going to talk about many other aspects. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, comment, subscribe and share, and with as much people as possible, and help this channel by joining it. Else we will meet in the next video with some more interesting topic to discuss. Till then, goodbye and thank you.